Here's the thing. If you master the concepts I talk about in this video, manifesting a specific person will be effortless. In this video, Willow and I are going to discuss competition and why it doesn't exist. We'll talk about the law of thought transmission and also your self-concept. Let's get straight into it. The first thing I want to clarify is nobody can take away what's yours in the quantum field. What's meant for you will simply find you. I don't chase, I attract. What belongs to me will simply find me. That's a very popular phrase quoted in the manifestation community, and it's true. What's yours, what's a part of your unique frequency will always find you. So let's talk about competition. I have this beautiful plant on my windowsill, and it's a perfect example. This most basic form of life is a teacher, and the best example to understanding how competition doesn't exist. So this plant, I got this from a friend, actually. I was visiting her in Los Angeles, and her home is filled with a bunch of different plants, including this golden pothos. And her plant was so beautiful and so grown out that she was able to cut the leaves. She felt inspired to cut the leaves, put them in a jar, fill it up with water, and she handed it to me as a gift. I was like, okay, what do I do? How does this work? She goes, put the jar in indirect sunlight, and over the next couple of weeks, the leaves, the stems will grow roots. These roots, after a couple of weeks, you'll see them. They'll be translucent, and I even have a photo of what they look like. They grow from nothing, sunlight, indirect sunlight, and water. They grow from nothing, and over time, when they're ready, you can plant them in soil. This is how the world actually works. This is our economics. We, as a system, our baseline is abundance. Our baseline is surplus. We have more than enough. When you eat an apple, the seeds that are at the core, they don't produce other apples. They produce trees. They produce the root, the foundation to help you grow not just one, but multiple things. And this is really important when we talk about competition, because it's not even a thing. It does not exist. When you look at this plant, this is your reminder. This is your sign to know that the world operates on overflow. We operate on surplus, and what is meant for you will be for you, and you can have more than just one. You can have many different options, many different opportunities, and you can never get it wrong. Okay, keep this in mind. The law of thought transmission is a law that states that you have this capacity to transmit your thoughts to others. You are a receiver and you are a transmitter, kind of like an antenna. And with this law, with this concept, you're able to communicate with everyone because we are all one. We are not separated. Competition does not exist. Competition is a scarcity mindset. It is a lack mindset. It's not that it's actually true, because this is how our world works. We are all one, and we are very generous actually when we have more than enough. So using the law of thought transmission, it's a very simple exercise that you do, and you do this naturally, but we're going to talk about it in the specific person and love, romance, interest sense. I want you to think in your mind of your specific person and what your conversations look like, and take note of what those conversations look like. It's okay if they're angry. It's okay if they're happy. It's okay if they're fun or playful. Just take note of how you converse with people in your mind. And this could be in your work environment. Do you have arguments with people in your mind? Do you find yourself defending yourself a lot? Or do you find yourself talking to people with lots of gratitude and with fun behavior? What does it look like in your mind when you're rehearsing scenes? This tells you everything you need to know about your self-concept. Because again, your self-concept is everything. Your internal world, your internal environment gets expressed out into the 3D. So when we're thinking about specific people, it could be anybody. When you're thinking about that partner and you're transmitting these words to them, they are subconsciously picking up on that. They are an antenna. They are not separate from you. When you have those arguments, when you're having those rehearsals, those mental rehearsals, you are prepping your inner world to express that in the 3D. This is why whenever I talk to clients and they say that, oh, I just can't stop thinking about my specific person, AKA SP, I am having these thoughts of anxiety, of doubt, of worry, I tell them to stop thinking about them. Why? Because the law of thought transmission is a real thing. And if you're constantly obsessing in a way that doesn't feel good, then all you're doing is reproducing an experience, a 3D outcome, creating continuity of them not being in your experience or not giving you the results that you prefer. So going back to self-concept, you are the only thing that matters. Your internal world is the only thing that matters. When you raise your self-concept, when you raise the feelings that you have about yourself, you in return change everyone around you. Everyone, not just one person, but like all the people. And you become this magnet. You become this magnet. By the end of the video, if your specific person is not tracking you down, okay, that's how it's going to feel. You're going to be beating them off with a stick. Don't hurt them. Don't hurt them. Once you apply this technique, you're going to raise your awareness of yourself. Why? Because you are the only thing that matters. Literally, you are the only thing that materializes your world. You are the one and only consciousness. There's a very common phrase. It's called hurting people hurt people. And this is true for pretty much everything. Loving people love people. When you love, when you are a lover, then you don't have to go anywhere else to find it because you are it. Same thing with money, same thing with health, same thing with all aspects of your life. When you are that thing, you don't have to go searching for it. It finds you, and it finds you fast. And it's very fun to implement. So let's say that you're having a conversation with your specific person in your mind, and it's not actually what you prefer. Get your mind off of it. And here's what you're going to do instead. You're going to raise your awareness. What most people don't understand is that we have addictions. There's physical addictions. These are the ones that are most commonly talked about, the physical addictions. I don't even need to go into that. But there's also such a thing as emotional addictions. So when you are obsessively thinking about something, you are subconsciously, whether you're aware of it or not, you are addicted to the feeling, and you're going back to the feeling state that it produces. You rehearsing that scene in your mind or having that conversation with that person is reproducing that feeling state. And in order to create a new feeling state, you have to rise above it with a different version of yourself and a different way that you view yourself. So it would look like this. If you're having arguments with your person, you drop the idea of thinking about that person and enter into a realm internally where you are desired, loving, worthy, deserving, capable, and you belong. This is something that happened to me. I didn't know that I was doing this, but once I became aware that I was recreating this scene based off of my emotional addiction, I was able to overcome it. So it looks like this. It looks like you dropping that conversation with that specific person, entering into your inner world right before you fall asleep or first thing when you wake up, and recreating a new scene of yourself. This new scene of yourself is going to embody the qualities of that specific person that you believe you do not have. Because what's interesting is that we typically only want to experience the specific person, or any manifestation for that matter, because we are addicted to the idea of it. We think that in the having of that desire, we will feel better. That's why we obsess over it. So when you look at those traits, what does this person have that I love? How does this person make me feel? Or how did they used to make me feel? Or how do I think that they're going to make me feel in the future? When you tap into those emotions and you give that to yourself, which you can, by the way, because going back to this, roots are created from sunlight and water. Out of nothing, they are created. Roots just form. They are translucent and they just create. Roots are a symbol of embodiment, by the way. They are the foundation. They are the identity level, the root level. So once you decide, okay, well, I don't need the circumstance to change around me. I can just become the love that I seek. I can just become those qualities about that person that I desire. Then you match that. And in some cases, in a lot of cases, you rise above it. When you rise above it, you are the magnet. Even when you're neutral, you are the magnet. It's just getting yourself to the frequency, to the state of already having it. And that is going to require an emotional addiction that is more powerful than the emotional addiction you have currently. The state you are residing in currently has to be overcome by a more important, a more powerful, potent future. So the law of thought transmission is a very real thing. I've done this in the past. I won't go into details, but I have been walking around a mall doing what I do best, shopping. I've seen a model on a poster, and I've said to myself, I'll meet this person. I don't know what it is about them, but I'm going to meet them. Walked away from it and have seen them over and over again. I would keep seeing the poster. I would keep seeing this person on, like, pretty much everywhere I went. I would go to airports and see this person and I'd be like, okay. It got to the point where I was like, you need to chill. I will see you soon. I will see you soon. And through a series of circumstances, it was only a couple months later that this person that I didn't even know, who happened to be an ambassador, like a very high profile person, was brought into my experience, and me not even knowing, it was through a work situation, and I ended up meeting this person. So you can manifest specific people, by the way. If you're wondering, or if you're doubting, or if you're trying to figure out if that's even a real thing, it's a very natural thing, actually. When I want you to think about times in your life where you've been thinking about somebody, or you meet someone and you think, we're going to be good friends, or there's something about that person. I just feel like we're going to meet one day. We do this all the time. It's a very natural thing. It's our birthright, actually. It is our birthright to be an overflow and to have more than enough and to manifest specific people. Okay. This is just one plant, by the way. This is a golden pothos. There are many different plants. You can have those as well. So it's all about understanding these laws of the universe and not being strayed or distracted by what other people say is true or not. You can have a specific person, and it's all about you. Competition doesn't exist. It's always going to be about you. So I trust that this has been helpful. Thank you so much for watching. I've also been working on something behind the scenes. I'm really excited about it, and it's something close to my heart. I will be sharing that soon, so stay tuned. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.